Hello and welcome to the Circuit Breaker event. Here we are at stage 3. I'm starting this stage with no upgrades and Natalie's missing, but she'll be back. We'll see her again. Now, Magnus's Pride, or Magnus Pride, I guess is the more proper way to say that. Let's go rock and roll, baby. Now remember, you can take some corners flat out in this car that you can't take flat out in others. The last corner I'm not so sure about now, because if you really dial in this chicane, then you head into this last corner with a lot of speed, and I think you can still take it full throttle if you get it just right, but it's tricky. Now that time I had to contend with a bot, so there was no way I was going to stay full throttle there. And I am still finding this car will once in a while step out weird. And all I can tell you is it just feels weird. So I had said that in yesterday's video at this corner, and a couple of people said, well, you know, it's just the way the corner is, you're dropping down and different things, and that's all true. But nonetheless, I've played this game a lot, and the way this car steps out when it does is just a little bit different than other cars. That's just what I'm finding. Even there, right here, you can step out a little bit right there. That time I was okay. I actually did a few attempts at this, just try to figure out my trajectory. Staying full throttle there, that's easy. Even if there's bots in the way, it's easy. It's kind of crazy. And then, of course, you're not going to catch draft very easily here, but brake late, and you can go under him, get around him. Oh, and then you get the race just ends. Cool, that's the end of the race 1. Beating Magnus. Okay, yes, he was driving the Mazda, and that has quite a sound to it. I hear you, Mazda. I hear you, Magnus. I hear that these things are kind of whiny sounding. This Volkswagen that I'm driving is a little bit whiny sounding. Yes, the Volkswagen. All right, now we have to lap 3 people, and these are all fast cars. So you really got to master your corners here. Okay, so here I am heading into the corner with nothing in my way. Can I take it full throttle? Yep, although I was not heading into that chicane on my own choice. What I mean is the bots were controlling me before, and they're slower than me. So I'm not so sure about that last corner anymore, because just because if you really go flying through that last chicane, you're going to hit that last corner a little bit faster than I think. Well, anyways, you have to keep working on it. Right here, I had the car step out weird a few times. So it's just interesting. Like all cars, you got to learn how to maximize its strengths and contend with its weaknesses. So yeah, that's all there is to it for the most part. This is an awesome car, like really, really, really awesome. Like staying full throttle there is easy. For those 2 corners, I stayed full throttle, and you need to stay full throttle there. If you are using brake assist, chances are it's braking for you there. You might need to toggle it off once in a while, or try going totally without it. But hey guys, I understand you can't just switch to no brake assist in a race. That can be too hard for a lot of people. So I'll explain that again as we approach. Boy, I hope I see somebody soon. I'm supposed to overtake 3 cars, and I'm on the last lap. So here, there we go. That was decent. Nice. I don't think I need to swing out as far to the right as I was. I'm gonna start to bring that in a little bit. And then here, that wasn't great. Come on, let's see somebody. I need to see some cars. Okay, so after this corner, next 2 corners, you stay full throttle. If your car's braking for you with brake assist, you're losing a lot of time, so you might need to start toggling it off and on right here. Because look at this. Boom, no trouble. And then heading into this last chicane, I never brake this late in any car. There's an overhead banner, and I'm braking after the overhead banner, which is just kind of crazy. And where I'm driving right there, that's not off track. The bots won't drive there, but it's not off track. There we go. Silly little whiner Magnus. Okay, well this one we're supposed to beat him by a big lead. I hate that. Because it makes the bots get a little more difficult, but no problem. Not that big of a lead. But still. First you gotta catch him. Well, it's interesting with the Mazda. I really do like the sound of that rotary engine. I believe it's a rotary engine, but haven't looked that up. That's just what my memory tells me. Here we go. I turned on the bots' names. I had them off in the earlier races. I really need to see when I'm catching up there. There we go. See how it's stepping out weird for me? Just interesting how it handles the low speed corners. It feels a little bit different than a Formula One car does. They also step out on low speed corners. This one feels a little bit different, just a pinch different. And you know what? I love that. I love how much attention the developers pay to the individual cars. Because a lot of people have said, oh, you guys just copy and paste the car characteristics. Nope, nothing handles like this car. I've driven every car, and this one is quite unique in its handling. So it's very, very interesting. In high-speed corners, it feels like a Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, but then in the slower corners, it just feels unique. Kind of like a Formula One, but not quite. It doesn't step out in the same place that a Formula One car would step out. For me, a Formula One car would step out earlier in the corner. This one's a little bit later, so it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't like having a car step out, but it's interesting to see the programming. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to stay full throttle and very carefully do this pass. Ooh, boy. Oh, that was a little bit risky, hey? But, I mean, I got to catch Magnus. That'll be no problem, because he's going to substantially overbrake for this chicane because they don't drive it the way you could drive it. Santos, and let's blast through this without getting contact. All right, there's Mr. Magnus, Mr. Magnus. He's overbraking. I'm going to see if I can give him the pit maneuver. Slowing him down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to let him get next to me and do the pit maneuver. Oops, whoa! That Porsche got up on me quick. That stopped me from successfully doing a pit maneuver. Well, maybe I won't mess with that. Oops, well, there I got him a little bit. If I mess around with that too much, I'll fail the stage. There's a way you hit someone when it says you can't take on damage, but you got to be careful. You got to lift off the throttle when you hit somebody. Hey, you know what? I don't know if I've ever shared this tip. If you know you're about to hit somebody, that's where tilt B controls are a huge advantage. Let go of the gas, don't touch the brakes, and you can get away with mild contact. If you do the very same contact with gas on, it'll hurt you. Sometimes you get away with it when you're not touching anything. I was double checking how big of a lead I need, and I'm still having trouble remembering what I saw. Was it 200 yards or 200 meters? 200 yards, about 181 meters. Okay, well, I'm going to reel in Santos. A little bit, not too much, because I have to have a lead, but I don't want too big of a lead. So let's let him catch up a little bit. Little bit. Right about there. I could have let him catch up a lot more, but I didn't want to lose either. Okay, what does whiny Magnus have to say? Nothing at all! Ha ha ha. Oh, well, now he is whining. Get everyone off the track, blah blah. Magnus, such a sore loser. Okay, fine, I'll whoop you, buddy. Well, as you can see, I did fail this a couple of times. I misbraked on a corner, so get behind him, get some draft right away. It's just, you can't get very much. He disappears. But we have so much more grip in the corners. And that's what this event's all about, guys. Take your time to maximize this car now. Maximize this car in the corners now. Really learn to dial it in. Now, this whole day, this whole stage 3, we've been on the shorter circuit, the sprint circuit. We're back on full length circuit here. So adjust to that quickly. So remember, full throttle this corner. Don't do that in most cars. I don't know my braking point for this next corner. I think I could be braking earlier and get to the throttle earlier. This hairpin I've been goofing up, so let's just see if I can improve my trajectory. That still wasn't great, but that's a lot better. And now I'm not going to go to the far right like I normally would. I'm going to try to cut a straighter path through here, shave a little more time. Now let's see if I can stay full throttle here on the full circuit. Well, the Nürburgring full circuit that we get. Grand Prix circuit, sorry, let's say that. Grand Prix. Look at that. Full throttle, that's not too hard there. And then heading into the last chicane, I've got a lot of time left over and a big lead on Magnus. Let's reel Magnus back in. I got lots of time. I'm going to slow down. Lots of time. Let's get off the throttle here, coast a little bit. Let Magnus catch up. Can slow down even more. Come on, Magnus, catch up. There we go. And then look at this final time. I'm 1:28. He was right in my bumper. How's he 1:45? I don't know. But please like the video. Please subscribe. Thank you for joining me. Playlist link is here, and I'll be seeing you next stage.